Welcome back! In our last video, we saw the genie help Scheherazade take all her wonderful ideas about her future husband and organize them in a way that made sense. In this video, we will take a closer look at some of the strategies the genie gave Scheherazade and how you can help your students add these strategies to their writing toolkits. In video 2 of this module, we introduced the 6 traits, and we specifically mentioned organization and voice. Before we talk about organization strategies, we thought it might be nice here to have a clear understanding of what voice is, especially since it affects organization. Simply put, voice refers to the author-audience connection. If a reader connects with the author through a piece of writing, the reader wants to read more and is interested. Reading is something with that kind of connection, which is fun and generally easy. Reading something without that kind of connection is boring and difficult. Each writer will have their own voice, their own way of connecting with readers. A writer must consider voice to help them determine which ideas to share and how to organize those ideas into a clear and cohesive, possibly entertaining, neutral, thoughtful, emotional piece of writing that their readers will want to read. Voice, by the way, is one of the hardest things to teach in a second language, but we believe it is an essential part of being a convincing writer. We have included a small reading on how to create voice for beginning, intermediate, and advanced students. Please make sure you take a look at that reading. Anyway, now let's return to organization. Why organize? Well, the truth is, free writing and brainstorming gets kind of messy. Getting a bunch of ideas out isn't the same thing as having a coherent piece of writing. And knowing which ideas are most relevant, and which ideas you should throw out, and which order they should go in is a thinking process in and of itself. So, what strategies do writers use to help them lay out their ideas in a way that makes sense? There are several, but we'll talk about 3 specific ones in this video. No matter which strategy you choose, the purpose of each one is to help students visualize their ideas and group that mess together. One strategy that is commonly used to help organize ideas is the use of an outline. There are various methods for structuring an outline using a variety of notation methods, numbers, letters, and so forth. But in general, an outline is basically a list of ideas grouped together. Each group represents one subsection of the writing piece, such as a paragraph in a 5-paragraph essay, or a chapter in a much longer writing assignment. The ideas are generally written in note form, that is, not in complete sentences, but enough for the writer to remember the gist of the idea so they can take that idea and write about it later. We have included an example outline in the readings for this module. Another commonly used strategy is a mind web or word web. In this strategy, the writer places the topic at the center of the page and then writes words or ideas all around the topic. These ideas or words represent the main topics for each of the subsections in the piece of writing. For example, when Scheherazade is writing about her future husband, she might have subtopics about appearance, occupation, personality, and perhaps family. Then, for each of these subtopics, the writer writes supporting ideas around the subtopic. So, Scheherazade might have written hair, eyes, height, weight, muscles around the word appearance on her mind web. Generally, mind webs do not contain as much detail as outlines, but are meant to help writers see how ideas fit and flow overall. A third strategy that works especially well with kinesthetic learners is the idea of paragraph blocks. The term paragraph doesn't have to mean an actual paragraph, but refers to one of the subsections we've talked about with the other strategies. In this strategy, the ideas for each subsection are written on a separate page. The writer puts the topic of the subsection at the top and then writes all the supporting ideas for that subsection underneath. Having each subsection on a separate page allows the writer to take a step back and look at the order of the subsections, and then easily move subsections around to find the order that is the clearest and makes the most sense. Of course, many writers employ multiple strategies when organizing their writing. They might start with a mind web to help them group their ideas together, and then move to an outline where they can include more detailed notes about each idea. They might even use paragraph blocks in between to help them visualize and determine the best order to present their ideas. Being able to pick and choose from different strategies in the writing process is an important skill your students must learn to be successful writers. Okay, so we've talked about making a mess, pre-writing, and cleaning it up through organizational strategies. Make sense so far? Get out those ideas and then impose order or form upon them. That's the idea. Outlining, mind webs, or paragraph blocks, all excellent ways to impose order on a reckless number of thoughts. That's certainly how it feels with me sometimes as a writer. I have so many ideas, but I simply have to trim them down, remove some of them entirely, and order them in a way that my audience will respond to. Did you know that one of the hardest parts of writing is getting rid of the thought or paragraph that doesn't fit but was written so well? Learning to eliminate a well-worded phrase or paragraph can feel like actual loss. Goodbye, wonderful thought. You just don't fit. I'll miss you. Still, good writers understand that sacrifices must be made for the benefit of the audience. Well, that's it for this module. In our next video, we'll summarize what we've covered in this module and help you prepare for the module quiz. We'll see you then.